Hi and welcome. Today we're talking to Dr. Randy Beck of the Institute of Functional Neuroscience. Tell me a story of a successful patient treatment.
Okay, well, Cindy, this is you've opened up a whole chapter for me because I can talk for hours on this. There's not a day goes by, and I'm not being facetious at all. There's not a day that goes by that someone doesn't come to me and say, "Oh, this has been a miracle." Okay, this patient has had a miracle, progression. We don't even think about miracles anymore. We just expect them. It's really weird. And they're not really miracles; they're just applied neuroscience. So we still call them miracles because that helps with the spiritual side of things. But really, if we apply the neuroscience right, we get an expected result. Okay, so let me give you some examples. Had a patient came in, young mom. She just had a child and had postpartum depression. Extremely bad. She tried to commit suicide a couple tomes. Her whole family was devastated. Her husband was devastated. We applied the treatments. Took her about 24 weeks, roughly 36 weeks, and she returned to relative normal, steady state. And now they have 4 kids. Okay, so after the first child, postpartum depression was treated. They now have 4 kids, and they refer to them as Dr. Beck's kids, even though they're not my kids. But they would not have had them had she not got through that postpartum experience. We had another devastating case. A 3-year-old child crawled into an abandoned pool, fell into the pool and drowned. So they pulled him out. He was basically brain dead. They took him to the hospital in ICU. They called the parents in. They said, he's not going to make it. You need to pull the plug on this child. And for some reason, they had heard about us, and I still don't even know how till this day. But I got a call from this mother, and she said, "What should I do?" And I said, "Look, give the kid a chance. Seriously, give the kid a chance." So they brought him in. 6 weeks later, this child that was basically brain dead in coma started to move, started to open his eyes, started to become cognizant. And about 12 weeks later, they started to actually focus their eyes, started to move their hands, started to make sounds. And now, this is about 2 years ago that this happened. This child is still disabled, not as much as you might think. They don't have complete use of their hands. They're muffled voice, muffled language. But basically, other than that, quite a normal child. And the parents are like, basically they said to me, there's not a day that goes by that they don't go, "Oh my God, what if we'd have pulled the plug? We would have lost this wonderful child." So there's another example. But I see commonly now, misdiagnosis of autism. So children come in, they're diagnosed with autism. We do the EEGs, we find that they actually they have autistic-like behavior, which is how autism is diagnosed. But what they really have are they're having seizures in their brain, absent seizures, which are causing autistic-like behavior. But the difference is autism is very difficult to treat, whereas these seizures are relatively easy to treat when we compare them to autism. So we have had children that have come in that have been diagnosed with autism by more than one professional, and go through the treatment, and a year later they are in a normal school with 0 disability. So those children, the parents say to me, "Oh my God, what if we hadn't have come in, because he would have maintained that diagnosis of autism for the rest of his life." So these are life-changing situations in patients. And I'm giving you rather radical examples, but You also had the example of a child who's simply struggling in school, and the parents bring them in, and a diagnosis of ADHD when in fact they don't have ADHD, they have something else, which is relatively easy to correct, and then the child goes on to normal development in school. So I could go on and on. Like I said, I have literally thousands of cases that would break your heart, and but these people have triumphed in the end, and that's the purpose of why we're here.